Okay, I got a really simple, easy video to do in the Jeep. I know a lot of people have followed me, so a lot of people, this video won't interest you that well. But what we're going to do is we put new spark plugs in the Jeep. And this is directed for those people who don't really know a lot about turning wrenches, but they want to kind of get their hands dirty and kind of do something on their own and feel accomplished and satisfied that they're able to do something instead of getting the dealership to do it. So not only are we going to change the spark plugs, we're also going to test the DIS bar, whatever the heck it's called, that long bar where all your spark plugs attached. So let's go outside and we'll start getting this done. Okay, the first thing we're going to do about changing out the plugs is my air intake's in the way, so I'm going to remove that. If you have the stock, you're going to have to get some of it off the way, like the tube and shit. And then the next step is to remove the 4 13mm bolts that secure this bar on the spark plugs. There's an electrical plug-in at the end there. Try to get a better view of it. You can see it right there. Focus. There we go. Now you can disconnect that if you want to pull the whole bar out. We're going to pull it out after so we can test it. Right now let's pull some plugs out. Coil plug has a little red tab here that you gotta slide out before you can yank her off. And she's pretty much impossible to get off. She's a little awkward back there, but it can be done. One thing too, once you got that bar off, is to blow out. Because the last thing you want is getting shit in your cylinder, otherwise you'll might end up with some troubles. So I just seafoamed the engine right before I took out the spark plugs. Now they got a little bit of carbon to them because I want to clean the combustion chambers out, and I should have took it out for a spin, but I didn't. So let's get ready to put new ones in. Okay, now it's time to put the new plugs in. I had Champions in there before. Now I'm going to run the Autolites Iridium XPs. We're just going to stick them in. They're supposed to come pre-gapped and everything else, so we're going to slap these babies in, put it all back together, and get her done. Like I said, this is a real easy project. For anybody who's just starting off, this is a good project to do. First thing I like to do is use a proper spark plug wrench, because it's got the little rubber in there that keeps the plug. And then I just stick it in and then gently hand thread it till it stops, and I'll snug them up with a ratchet afterwards. Just like that, pull it out. Same thing, the next one in. And do that for all of them, and then we'll get ready to snug them up. Now when you're tightening your spark plugs, you want them to go snug. If you have a torque wrench and you want to torque them to the proper specs, but you don't want to tighten them till they stop and then force it to tighten some more, because then you're going to strip your threads. Retard tight is not your friend, not on spark plugs. Some things they are, but not on spark plugs. See, got them all in. We're ready to put the bar back on. All right, let's get this coil back into place. First of all, plugging the electrical wire that's giving us fucking grief. May have to wiggle it around a little bit just to get started. You don't want to cross thread them. If they're not going in easy, don't fucking force them. You'll be asking for a big headache afterwards. Perfect. Once again, don't go too tight. Once it's snug, it's done. We're gonna hook everything back up and fire it up. Well, after doing a compression test, running seafoam through it, let's see how well it'll start with putting the new plugs in. Well, I got the service manual out, and it says the coil pack fires in pairs. So it doesn't really tell you how to test this thing. So basically, cylinders 1 and 6 are going to fire. So 1 and 6. There we go. Now we got a reading. It's hard to get the pins in there. There we go. And then cylinders 2 and 5. Around 15 again. Cylinders 3 and 4. Around 15. We'll do 1 and 6 fire. It should be about 15 roughly. But if I go into 1 and 5, nothing. 1 and 4, nothing. 1 and 3, nothing. 1 and 2. So the service manual says they fire in pairs. So if I get a reading between the ones that fire in pairs, it's probably a pretty good chance that if they're all in the same reading, that these coils are good. Alright, I'm going to end this video on that easy project of changing your spark plugs and checking your coils. Really easy job. Probably take you, I don't know, roundabout figure, let's say an hour. If you're just getting your hands dirty, let's say about an hour. Removing the plugs, put new ones in. Now if you don't have the iridium or platinum plugs, they should come pre-gapped, but if you're just putting regular plugs in, you will have to gap them accordingly to whatever your engine specifications are supposed to be, because having a wrong gap will make your vehicle run poor. So if you have any questions or comments, post them below, crack a motherfucking beer, and pound it back.